Hello everyone. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment saying where you're from and when you watched. That way, YouTube will continue to show you stories like this. Now, let's get started. Asterisk, the wooden door slammed shut behind me, startling me. The echo echoed throughout the rotten house, like the sound of a coffin closing. I stood still in the darkness, the light shining through the cracks in the wooden walls, illuminating the layers of dust floating in. The suffocating, musty smell made it hard for me to breathe. I looked around. Dozens of paintings hung on all four walls, all depicting the same woman in a white dress, her face pale but her eyes sunken. What made me shiver was that on each painting, the ground beneath her feet was empty, with absolutely no shadow. I moved closer, noticing the scribbles as if drawn in a panic. The brush strokes shaky, the colors smudged, but the fear was clearly present in every detail. I reached out to touch a painting. The dust peeled off, revealing the scribbled words. Underneath, I read each word slowly, my voice trembling. The one who comes later will replace the one who comes first. The one who sees the truth will not escape. I pulled my hand back, my heart pounding as if it were about to explode. I understood that there were people who had lived in this house, who had painted these pictures, and they all knew the terrible truth about the woman without a shadow. Perhaps they had disappeared, leaving only these haunting traces. A creaking sound echoed from the attic. I startled and looked up, my feet stopping, not daring to move. But then, as if urged by an invisible force, I slowly walked towards the stairs. With each step, the wooden planks creaked, as if they were crying. When I reached the top, I saw a narrow hallway leading to a final room. The door was ajar, a faint light coming from inside. I reached out and pushed the door open. The room was full of mirrors, big and small, hanging all over the walls. They reflected my image from every angle. But the scary thing was that in some of the mirrors, I no longer saw myself, but instead Emily. Her face pale, her smile endless. I backed away, bumping into a mirror behind me. The mirror shook, the glass like rippling water. I was horrified to see in it countless bony arms reaching out, beckoning, trying to pull me in. I screamed, rushed out of the room, ran down the stairs, my heart pounding. But when I reached the ground floor, I stopped. On the rotten wooden table, an old notebook lay there, as if waiting for me. I opened it with trembling hands. The yellowed pages were filled with words. The content told of a village that once existed, where each generation was haunted by a woman without a shadow. Anyone who married her would lose their soul, be imprisoned in the mirror, and their real body would be nothing more than an empty shell. I turned to the last page. The hastily scribbled words appeared. If you want to escape, you have to end the loop, but those who dare will have to face the most terrifying truth. I closed the notebook, cold sweat running down my spine. I knew, to escape, I had to face Emily directly. But how to face her when she was not human, but an entity that stepped out of the darkness, from a centuries-old curse? Suddenly, the sound of heavy rain echoed outside the roof. The rain sounds pounded down like drums. The wind blew hard. The windows shook violently. The house seemed about to collapse. I looked back at the paintings. Each pair of eyes in them seemed to come to life, following me. I panicked and rushed towards the main door, banging hard, but it was still tightly closed. I turned the doorknob until my hand was numb, hopeless. Just then, I heard footsteps behind me. Slowly, clearly, I turned around, my heart stopped beating. For a moment, Emily stood there. Wet black hair, soaked white dress, sunken eyes, and as always, no shadow under her feet. She moved closer, each step making the wooden floor creak. I backed away, my back hitting the door. There was no escape. Emily reached out to me, her thin hand trembling as if inviting me. In that moment, I looked over at the mirror beside me. In the mirror, I saw myself standing still, my eyes empty, while Emily in the mirror smiled happily. I screamed, trying to break the mirror. The glass shattered, but instead of falling to the floor, they floated in the air, reflecting thousands of images of Emily laughing. I trembled, feeling like my mind was about to shatter. Emily took another step, her whisper echoing in my head, unable to escape, never to escape. I fell to my knees, my hands covering my head, the sound of rain, wind, laughter merging into a terrifying song. And then, everything went silent. I looked. Up, the house was empty. Emily was gone. Only me and the paintings stared at my heart. I knew this was not the end. The real ending was still waiting ahead, where I was forced to face the most cruel truth. Stay tuned for the next episode too. See what I will find out behind that terrible curse.